So why do we as an organization exist? Now, we want to enable people like you to support students better and help improve their outcomes. Now, we are already trusted to do this at over 700 higher education institutions who now use our note-taking technology, our learning technology, for improving and enhancing note-taking accommodations, but in general, student success initiatives. So how can note-taking enhance student learning outcomes? Studies have shown that over 90% of students turn to YouTube for supplemental education outside of class, with over 1 billion hours watched daily. YouTube has essentially become a top site for teens, adults, and a lot of different people to learn informally. I was just watching YouTube this very morning, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that sometimes I hop on YouTube occasionally while I'm at work as well. There's so much useful information there. Now, with 91% of Americans between the age of 18 and 29 watching videos, we know that informal learning happens alongside formal learning online. Now, students use informal and back channels to find appealing content, to clarify, they connect, to form opinions on formal learning materials, as well as using YouTube for study tips, memory hacks, well-being tips. This video platform with over 2.7 billion active users and over 1 billion hours watched daily has become a part of the fabric of modern learning. So YouTube's powerful recommendation algorithm analyzes viewing patterns and surfaces relevant tutorials, explanations, and summaries tailored to each student's needs. By providing instruction in visual, auditory, and kinetic formats, YouTube caters to those diverse learners and helps improve retention of that information. Now, a 2019 study published in the International Journal of Teaching and Learning in Higher Education found that 95% of college student participants used YouTube for learning and cited reasons like accessibility, visual components, and ease of understanding content. When tackling assignments or studying for their exams, students increasingly search YouTube for video summaries and step-by-step walkthroughs explaining key class topics. So how can we support learning through YouTube? And when I say we, I don't mean Glean, I don't mean yourselves. I very much mean that collective we. So the institution, the department, the professors, the faculty, the technology providers, the students themselves, what can we all do to make this a greater environment to learn from? Now, to leverage these behaviors, professors could upload weekly summary videos, recapping lectures. Students reference these condensed highlights to identify knowledge gaps. An organization called Khan Academy had actually shown that short instructor-created videos boosted performance more than just traditional in-person instruction. And I've got to tell you how I personally could have done with those bite-sized sound bites of in-depth content that you know, when it was delivered in those in-person environments. One, I felt disengaged from a lot of the material. I often felt distracted, and sometimes you can feel very, very overwhelmed. And you may even have to find yourself reaching out to the professor, trying to find a time in their busy schedules to have them walk you through some of that content on a level that you could perhaps understand it a bit better. And not all students like that human interaction. And I know plenty of professors who don't like it either. Now, educators can also build course-specific YouTube channels with supplemental tutorials, expanding on difficult topics. Now, these can be made provide and invite only. So I know a lot of professors have concerns around intellectual property, which is very valid. And that way, of course, there are ways to work through that as well. Videos could be enhanced with end screens, info cards, annotations that link to assignments, recommended readings, upcoming assessments, and quizzing features could help assess things like comprehension. But creating existing educational YouTube playlists aligned to various learning objectives is another impactful technique. Now, it's really great for saving those educators time in creating a lot of the educational content and harnessing what is an absolutely humongous repository of YouTube videos to help create a lot of quality content in one place. Now, you may also be able to insert YouTube videos into your learning management system with curated start and end points to avoid too much content, because too much content can be overwhelming, and how much of it is particularly useful. And it just stops students being lost, of course. A playlist can also help, and you can insert YouTube videos into Google Slides, into your PowerPoint slides, specify start and end times, so that students can use those relevant clips to enhance their studies as well. And when we record this content, we should look to use strong presentation skills, multiple camera angles if possible, concise editing, simple visuals, captions, to model that exemplary instruction. So we want to make those environments similar to, and perhaps even better than, what we can often deliver in person. And educators can also pose analysis questions at the end of videos, then have students post responses perhaps in the comments, right? And that replying helps drive discourse and shows a digital presence too.